Hey! Figuring out which code goes where is one of the bigger challenges when building an application. And now that Angular suggests storing our variable values in signals, it's important to consider where we declare those signals. In this video, we answer a key question. Should we declare our signals in our services or in our components? Let's dive in. I'm in StackBlitz with my demo application open. To better see signals in action, I've added several features to the sample application. Let's start with the film list component. I've covered the signal declarations so we can talk through them first. In the UI, click on Film List. We have a drop-down with the available vehicles. Select one, and we see the films that vehicle was in. Cool! When implementing this page, what data, or state, would we require? Well, we need to retrieve an array of vehicles for the select box. We want to track which vehicle the user selected, and of course we'll retrieve the films for that selected vehicle. Some less obvious but important state includes a loading flag. If I refresh the page, we see a message when the vehicle data is loading. I'll again pick a vehicle. And of course, we need to track any error that could occur when retrieving data so we can notify the user. Once we know what data the component requires, our next step is to determine where to declare the signals to hold that data. Let's start with the array of vehicles. Clicking Vehicle List, we see that it also requires the list of vehicles. Anytime we want to share data between components, we declare the signal for that data in a service. Since this is vehicle data, it makes sense to declare it in the vehicle service. In our component, we reference the vehicle signal from the vehicle service. We also reference its loading flag so we can display the loading message. Going back to the film list, where should we declare the selected vehicle signal? At first thought, it seems like it is component-specific. Only the film list component needs to track this selection. But do we want to retain the selection when the component is destroyed? If we leave this page, which destroys the film list component, and return, do we want to remember the user's selection? Anytime we want to retain data when a component is destroyed, we declare the signal for that data in a service. In this case, we're selecting a vehicle to list its set of films. It makes sense to declare it in the film service. So in our component, we reference the selected vehicle signal from that film service. Also, the film service needs the vehicle selection to retrieve the appropriate film data. Anytime we add parameters or data to our HTTP request, we often declare the signal for that data in the same service as the HTTP request. What about the film data itself? In the film service, we issue the HTTP request to retrieve the film data for the selected vehicle. Since we issue our HTTP request from a service, it makes sense to declare the signals that store that data in the service as well. In the film list component, we reference the film service for the list of films for the vehicle and for its associated loading flag. For the error message, we combine any error from the vehicle service with any error from the film service. So these are the key reasons to declare signals in services. Looking at the film service, notice first that the service is provided in root, so we have one instance of the service shared throughout the application. Here is our selected vehicle for film signal. We use rxresource to retrieve the films for the selected vehicle. We set the request to the selected vehicle for film signal to re-execute the loader function every time that signal changes. Then in the loader, we issue the HTTP requests. Unlike many APIs that store an ID to retrieve related data, the Swappy API stores an array of film links with the vehicle data. So we use fork join here to retrieve each of the films for the selected vehicle. We then use features of the resource API to access the loading flag and any error. In the film list example, All of the state required for the page is retained in a service. The vehicle selection component is similar, so let's move on to the cart features. First, we need to put something into the cart. Pick a vehicle and click Add to Cart. Notice the badge appearing in the menu next to our cart? Nice! Pick another vehicle and click Add to Cart. We now have 2 items in our cart. Click on Cart and we see our selected vehicles, their prices, and our cart totals. From here we can change the quantity or delete an item. The cart is implemented with 4 components: a cart list component that displays the title and column headers, a cart item component for each cart item in the list, a cart total component for the totals, and a cart shell component that holds it all together. What data do we need to track for this page? If you want to try defining the required signals on your own, pause the video and give it a try. Are you ready for my solution? We need an array of cart items. Each cart item includes the vehicle data and the quantity. We need the calculated extended price for each item, and the subtotal, delivery fee, estimated tax, and our total. Where should we declare these signals? Well, we want the array of cart items in a service. That way we can access the cart items from anywhere in the application. Our vehicle detail component can add items to the cart. Our app component, which includes our menu, can display the cart count, and so on. We may want to declare the signals for the cart totals in the service as well. That way they don't need to be recalculated when the cart total component is destroyed. Plus, then they are shared throughout the application, and we could display the cart total in the menu bar, for example. But what about this extended price? This is a unique calculation for each cart item, so it makes sense to declare a separate extended price signal for each instance of the cart item component. In the cart item component, the extended price is declared here. Anytime we want to retain a unique value for each component instance, declare the signal in the component. Another use case for defining signals in a component is for communication with a parent component. Here we use an input signal to take in the cart item for display in the component. Use this diagram as a guideline. It can help you determine whether to declare a signal in a service or in a component. And note that these are only guidelines. Your particular use case may require a unique solution. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe.